Welcome to Bull, out for the.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jason Plays back in his jank with another video. And on today's video, we'll hit a couple of topics concerning EA College Football 25, as well as some more tidbits about the PlayStation 5 Pro. So first off, let's just attack the elephant in the room. EA's College Football 25 has had tons of fanfare. Has been a lot of hype leading up to this game, and the results that have now came out from the industry confirms that the hype was real. EA's College Football 25 has now become one of the most anticipated sports games of all time. So the $100 version of the game was available for about 4 days before the actual availability of the normal price $70 game. Of course, the $100 version includes the extra DLC and things of that nature. Before the normal release of the game, the $100 version has sold 2.2 million copies in 3 days, which technically means that EA made $200 million in pre-orders alone. And during that period, they had a consistent concurrent player count online of over 700,000 players. So we don't know how many copies have been sold since its normal release, but since the normal release of the $70 version, the concurrent player count has not dropped below 400,000 players at any given time throughout the day or night. Another interesting fact about how this game affected the industry from people like Dirt Griggity, who I love the channel by the way, Forte and Laura Addict, during a recent podcast that they had, being that Forte is someone who works at a GameStop location in the United States, stated that the Xbox Series S's are being sold out in most of the retail stores around the country, and this sellout can be contributed to the release of College Football 25. So even myself did some digging at my local GameStops, and I did notice that all of the refurbished Series S's, even refurbished Series X's, refurbished PlayStations were not available in my area, nor did I see any Series S's that were new that were also available for purchase in GameStops in my area either. So there is definitely some credence to this, because there have been others in the industry that have been reporting the same news as well. And what I believe is the reason why the Series S mainly has been the console that's been selling out is because that would be your cheapest entry into this current gen. Another thing that could also cause this game to be so popular is that a proper NCAA game hasn't been available for 10 years. And the reason why we didn't have an NCAA football game pretty much had to do with all the information surrounding NIL deals, or name, image, and likeness. So these companies were before able to make these games with these players' images and likenesses, and did not have to compensate players for being in the game. So it took about 10 years to resolve this issue. Now that we have a structure for name, image, and likeness deals, that this game can now be produced properly. So with that being said, there are currently 11,390 college players from 134 schools that were eligible for this NIL payout from EA, and 11,000 players actually accepted the deal. So pretty much everyone except for about 400 players. So each player who accepted the NIL deal from EA received $600, and they also received a copy of the game for the platform of their choice. So I haven't had much hands-on time with the game yet. I've only played a few quarters, but I can definitely say that this game feels a lot different than Madden. The presentation is definitely solid and a step up from what you see from Madden. You have the custom mascots, crowd chants, player walkouts. You also have multiple broadcast teams, so you won't get tired of the same broadcasters over and over again. It has a revamped pass system, tons of new commands, which will probably warrant some time in the tutorial. Also, I believe that the game feels a little bit more loose than Madden does, and I also like the touches and animation. Like if your player breaks for a big run or a big catch, how he turns around and looks at the people that may be trailing, trying to stop him from making it into the end zone. The synopsis online that I see is most consumers seem to enjoy this game. Of course, the sales that we and myself, I will probably have a more detailed explanation on how I feel about the game after I have some more hands-on time. I never really owned that many college games in the past. Maybe Bill Walsh college football back on the Sega CD, and maybe an NCAA title back on the PlayStation 2. So the game feels a lot different for me, but I've been playing Madden since Madden 93, and I've played every single Madden from that point to now. So I probably just gotta get used to the feel of the college game. What I will say is that EA has definitely garnered some excitement, and hopefully they can transfer this excitement into its other franchises, and maybe it may spark an idea to maybe jump back into the NBA Live series in a way in which they have failed to do in its past entries. And if you picked up EA College Football 25, let me know how you feel about the game. And if you're noticing that Series S's and other consoles that are usually readily available at your local retailers are not available, possibly because of the launch of this title, let me know in the comments below. Now, back to the PlayStation 5 Pro rumors and speculations. There's an insider named Tom Henderson that everybody is familiar with. He is very accurate on a lot of things that he reveals before they're actually revealed by the corporations themselves. He was the person who revealed details about the PlayStation Portal before Sony had said anything about it. He was correct. He now had a comment speaking about the possibility of the PS5 Pro maybe not launching this year in 2024, but maybe pushed to 2025. On X, Tom Henderson had replied to a fan who is inquiring about a possible month in which the PlayStation 5 Pro would be available this year. And Tom Henderson replied, if it releases this year, implying that it's possible that it might not. So maybe he's heard some things behind the scenes that may prevent the PlayStation 5 Pro from releasing this year and being pushed to next year. Now, one thing could be that in order for Sony to convince its fan base to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 Pro, they would have to have software that shows the advantages, which will warrant somebody to make an upgrade or an additional purchase. And that is also just speculation. But we still haven't heard any official words from Sony, so just take this as a grain of salt. For me, I'm just gonna hope that the PlayStation 5 Pro does release this year. I will say one thing though, if Sony does delay the PlayStation 5 Pro into early next year, then most likely they would be pit up against the Nintendo Switch 2, which we've been told or have heard from the earnings calls that the Nintendo Switch successor will be available by the end of March 2025. And that's all I got for this video. And if you like the content, hit that like button, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah, we gaming ghosts.
I'm walking the bull, go, out for the